Hey everybody, I'm Madeline Sklar, host of the Social ROI Chat. We had an amazing time today. It's because we had a pretty awesome guest. Please welcome Julia Jornsay-Silverberg. Hey Julia, how are
Hi,
you?
Madeline. I'm doing really good, and I have to give you all the props for correct pronunciation of my name. That happens like once every 20 times. So, go Madeline.
Awesome. Woohoo. Well, listen, Sklar is not an easy one. And I saw you did an Instagram story today and you said it perfectly. And I'm used to it getting butchered. So and I'm not always the best pronouncing people's names. So I'm glad I did it right. Yay. So thank you. We had a great chat today. You are awesome.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Vlogging. What a great topic. Love talking about it. You just shared so much great stuff. But before we dive in, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Definitely. So, my name is Julia Jornsay-Silverberg, and I am the social media director at Telesco Creative Group. We are a full service marketing and advertising agency operating in Buffalo, New York. And whether it's logos, websites, social media, commercials, TV, billboards, we do it all. We work with clients obviously in Buffalo, but we have clients all across the board. We actually do some work for NHL Network, Pac-12 Network, MLB. So we love flexing our creative muscles in the marketing and advertising industry, and I manage all things social media. So whatever it is, whether it's content creation or analytics or creating paid campaigns, I'm the one that kind of leads that up. And I live, sleep, and breathe social media. And I love using these platforms to create connections with other people.
That is so awesome. Well, you are so lively and like I can see how video is something you enjoy because you come off so great on it. So I'm so glad you were able to come on our after chat. So we're just going to go through some of these questions, get your expanded thoughts. Today's
Awesome.
topic is vlogging in 2019. And listen, I have been all in on video for years. And I'm always telling people like, just do it, just get
Yes.
started because video is such a great platform. It's a great way. I mean, it's so authentic, right? We can hide behind our tweets. We can hide behind our Facebook posts. Can't really hide too much on Instagram, but with video, like you're out there. It's like, this is you. And people love that. They love the transparency and the realness of it. So I think vlogging is such a great medium for getting your message out. So I'm really excited to talk about this. So let's dive in with question number one. How has vlogging evolved and what is the vlogging best practices for 2019?
So I think vlogging has really evolved in the way of, more people are doing it. It's way more accessible now. And I think that it's just people are so busy. Everything is moving so quickly. We all have limited time that a video, it's so much easier to get a sense of someone's personality and really feel like you get to know them when you watch a video versus reading a written blurb or listening to a podcast. You get all the senses when it comes to video, pretty much, not touch, but And so I think that that's why vlogging is becoming so huge. And I think really the direction that it's moving is really like the more authentic people can be, that's the direction it's moving in. Yes, people now have greater tools and technology so they can do more stuff and their video quality can go from here to here. But I think the real, like if there was one word in terms of the direction, it's authenticity. The more authentic, the more likely it is you're going to create a community.
I agree 100%. I love that. I think that, and that's perfect for going right into question number two, which is what advice would you give to an amateur vlogger who is just starting out on their vlogging journey?
So if you're just getting started, my advice for you would be think about what kind of videos you want to create. Like, what do you want to be known for? I want to be known as someone that loves social media and loves using these tools to create connection. So I make videos about social media. I also, though, have a huge passion for mental health, and I also create some videos around that. So if you're just getting started, I think about what do you want people to know you for, because that's going to be the kind of content that you create. And literally just get started. As Brian Fanzo always says, press the damn button. Don't wait for the perfect tool. Don't wait for someone to give you permission. No one's going to tell you to go start a YouTube channel. You just have to do it. So just get started. And with every video you make, you're going to learn something and probably make a little bit better video next time.
I love your answer. That is so awesome. And I'm a big fan of just press the button, like Fanzo always talks about, and also just do it. This is actually a real tattoo on my arm. It says,
oh, yes,
just do it, because I mean, it's a mantra of mine, and I firmly believe that we can accomplish anything we want, but we have to just do it. And it really is as simple as that. And when we were talking about giving out tips to amateurs, I had mentioned just start with your phone, because we all have these powerful phones now, right? And when I think back to the technology just even 5 years ago, but then like 10 or 15 years ago, carrying clunky equipment every time I wanted to make videos, and the technology just kept getting better and better and better. And as iPhones evolved, I remember my first iPhone, the very first, phone that came out for iPhone, it took terrible pictures and video, but then it just got better and better. And today we have no excuse. We have a great camera just sitting in our phone. And so you can really start with just bare minimum and then build up. Like I've got my fancy podcast set up here, but I also use this for video as well. So it's kind of interesting because so many of us are doing webinars. We're being interviewed all the time with, videos or podcasts. And so, over time, you can just start building up your equipment. You can start simple and build your way up. And I know you were talking about audio, and I know audio is so important. You had made some really good points in the chat about, if it doesn't sound good, people aren't going to listen. And I always tell people, you don't have to have a fancy mic like this. This is the Heil PR40. It's $315. It's an investment. But there are microphones out there that do a tremendous job, and the price is affordable. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, they're you can go on Amazon and get a little clip-on mic for like $15. And so I totally agree. It's not about like breaking the bank in order to get started and not letting that technology hold you back. Another thing too, like to that point, is I know that I've seen some people, they buy all the technology, all the fancy bells and whistles, and then they get started and then they realize, I actually don't like vlogging. So my advice is like, get started, do the thing, see if you enjoy it, and then it's worth making investments in. But don't go crazy and make all the investments before you know whether this is something you're going to stick with.
Yeah, because you might not even enjoy it and then not use it, and then it's collecting dust and you wasted money, and then you'll be upset with yourself. So no, I totally understand. Now, I see there was a comment here from Erin. She's saying she struggles with how often she should post for her own brand, that she can recommend to clients all day, but when it comes to her own, and I hear that all the time. It's so easy to do it for clients, but then when it's for yourself, we struggle. And what are your thoughts on that, for like how often to be vlogging?
So I think consistency is really important. I know that there are some people out there on YouTube that are making vlogs every day. That is super aggressive and really hard to stay consistent with. That I recommend picking a frequency that you can be consistent in. So even if that means 2 videos a month, if you're showing up so let's say you do 2 videos a month and it's every other Monday or something like that, and you're posting the same day of the week, same time, that's how you really grow a following. It's like when we think about, we tune in for a television show because we know it's that night, that time. So I really swear by consistency with vlogging. I think ideally you're doing it once a week, but if you can't commit to that, it's better to commit to something you can stick to than to say, I'm going to publish every week, and then you publish videos 3 weeks in a row and then you didn't have the bandwidth to keep up with it. That's not going to look that great. That I'd rather see you do consistently for a year, 1 video a month, and then you can always scale up and do more. But it's better, I think, to start small and grow rather than be super ambitious, start really strong, and then have to pull back, because algorithms don't like that.
Right. That's such a great point. And I'm a firm believer in being consistent. So I totally agree with you, and experiment. And I like what you're saying. Start small. You can always just start off monthly and add to it. When I first started podcasting in 2015, I was gung ho, and I started 2 podcasts at once, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and very quickly I was like, whoa, this is a lot of work. And what was I thinking? And I had to pull the brakes on it and really evaluate what I was doing. And then when I started my Twitter Smarter podcast a few years later, then it was like, okay, let me do this right, you know? And so it's really important, but consistency is definitely the most important thing there. Question number 3, this was a really good one. What are the top 3 tools amateur vloggers should use when creating content?
Okay, so top 3. Number 1, you need a camera. So I recommend just use your iPhone, or if you have a DSLR camera, that's even better, but you could just get started using your smartphone. Number 2, you need a microphone so that people can hear you. And number 3, you need a tripod, because there's nothing worse, especially if you're using your phone, having a shaky camera like that is going to make your viewers nauseous. It is not going to go very well. So you want to have a tripod so that you're staying stable, because if you're going all over the place, people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't watch this anymore.
I love that. This was the best thing. My Archon tripod. I love this tripod so much. It's lightweight, but it's real sturdy and durable. Yeah. And you want your camera to be still. There's nothing worse than that shaking, and people don't like that. So It's really important. I love your tips. They're just perfect tips for this. Let's move over to question number. Let's go over to question number 6. Are consistency and frequency still key to having a successful vlog, or has the vlogging world become more quality oriented?
So I think that, quality is definitely really important, but I think that both consistency and frequency are really important, because that's going to be what brings people like time and time again back to your channel. But that being said, I think people are going to subscribe to you because they want to see you. So making sure that your videos are quality in the sense of the content is strong. The content should either inspire, entertain, or educate. If you can do all 3 of those things in one video, you're probably going to end up with a subscriber. But if you can do even just one of those 3 things in a video, the video has value. You don't just want to get up there and talk just to make a video. You want to have a reason to why you're making that video. So either taking people along, something entertaining, inspiring them, or educating them. I think that is going to be really important. So I think it's finding that balance between the frequency and the quality.
I love it. And one more question to close this out. It was the last one, question number 7. How can a brand benefit from having multiple YouTube channels?
So that's a great question. I think that multiple YouTube channels can be extremely effective if you're discussing different topics on those different channels. So I've got my Jornsay-Silverberg YouTube channel where I'm kind of taking you around some things in Buffalo, and I'm talking about social media. But I started another YouTube channel with my childhood best friend who recently moved to Buffalo, who is a licensed social worker. And we decided to combine our passions. She's got an expertise in social work. I've got my expertise in social media. So we decided to kind of combine those passions to create a mental health focused YouTube channel where we're talking about growing up with anxiety, the impact of having parents that got divorced, perfectionism, like kind of the real stuff that we don't think enough people are really talking about openly. And that kind of content is not very aligned with best practices for a Twitter chat. So that's why I've got separate channels. And I think that's kind of the best practice is if you're talking about 2 totally different things, 2 different channels is a really good way to go.
I think that's so smart, because people will say I think I should have just one account and put everything on it. And then some people say, I want to have 5 different YouTube accounts, for everything I do. And it's like, whoa, there's got to be that place in the middle where, because the more accounts you have, the more work you're doing. But that makes perfect sense what you're saying, that, in your case, these are two completely different things, and they don't really align together if it was on one account. So I think that really makes perfect sense. This has been so awesome, Julia. I just love all the information you shared. I encourage everyone who's tuning into this, if you missed the live chat, be sure to go through the hashtag social ROI. We'll have a recap up tomorrow over on Managed Flitter's blog over at managedflitter.com. And this was just so much great information that was packed into the 1 hour chat. So Julia, thank you so much. What's the best way for people? Sure. What's the best way for people to reach you?
I would say find me on Instagram, because I do daily Insta stories, because I'm all in on video. So find me on Instagram at jbethjs. And obviously any social media person will tell you having the same handle across all the platforms.
Yes.
Is a smart way to go. So you can find me, jbethjs, pretty much anywhere.
And I love that, because I was
to my YouTube channel.
I was looking for you on Instagram, and so that's what I did. I put in your Twitter handle and just immediately found you. That's great advice right there. It's always smart to have the same handle across the boards. Definitely. So thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. We'll be back next week with another great chat. So until then, see you out on Twitter. Bye, everybody. Bye, Julia.
Good to meet you guys.